Welcome everyone, Jcrash here with a micro-analysis of Johnny 316. This is a really obscure film, and one of my subscribers, Diesel Films, requested a review for this film. And so this one's for you, Diesel. Thanks for your support. Like I said, this is an obscure film, and it stars Vincent Gallo and Nina Brosh. Wasn't directed by Gallo. It was directed by Eric Ifirgan, as I believe the pronunciation. He produced this film, directed it, financed it apparently, because it's a pretty low budget film, but it's an art house film, and I really enjoyed it. I watched it on iTunes for rent for like $2.99 or something. So anyway, let's talk about the film. Like I said, it's an art house film, and it's a very symbolic film. There's a lot of religious undertones, not even undertones, in your face religious symbolism. And some people who aren't prepared for the art house format of this film, if you're watching this film in a linear format, chances are you're going to be confused. Okay? And the thing about art house films and symbolic films is you can't take them on a linear, literal level. Otherwise, you don't understand the film. And we're so used to a series of steps that a film is supposed to take that it's kind of been ingrained in us to expect a format in a certain way. And then at the end we're left saying, what the fuck did I just see? We don't understand it. So if you're looking at the symbolism of the film and sort of the abstract nature of the film, you can kind of begin to make a little more sense. And the thing with symbolic films and things of this nature is that there's sort of three levels. There's the linear level, that's just the basic what you see story going on in the film. Then there's the symbolic level that people who are into art house, into looking, know some of the symbolism, that they can kind of piece together things that make sense. Then there's usually, in more deeper symbolic films, another layer underneath that, and that's for like true initiates who understand. See, the thing with symbols is there's different levels of meaning. One group could look at a symbol and say, okay, that means this. And yes, it may mean that in a particular group that's looking at it, but there may be a different interpretation also by another group. So it's interesting on IMDb that it says this is a love story develops between a street preacher and a beautiful woman. This isn't really a love story, although it's somewhat presented like that. This is essentially the story of John the Baptist. John 3:16 is a biblical John the Baptist passage. And you'll see that the character's name is Johnny. He stands on the street corner professing his faith. Now, it's a modern twist on this old tale, basically set in Hollywood. And it's kind of this juxtaposition of modern times and the decay of Hollywood up against the old biblical story. Now, Nina Brosh plays the woman in the film who goes by Sally, and you'll recall in the film where she's cutting the hair, and on the television she sees the interaction between Salome and John the Baptist. John the Baptist is in a cell. He was held in a cell because Herod, the king at that time, had a grudge against him because he divorced his wife and married Herodias, who is Salome's mother. So John the Baptist spoke out against this and basically shamed King in the eyes of God. And so in order to get back at John the Baptist, Herodias has her daughter, Salome, kind of seduce her stepdad, Herod. And he kind of falls for her. She does this very provocative dance. And that's kind of where the mythology of the whole femme fatale comes from. And you can see in the film that Sally, or Salome, is also has some relation to an exotic dancing club. And it shows those images. Now, story goes that Herod was so taken by the dance and the seduction of Salome that he granted her any wish. And so, in order for her mom to get back at John the Baptist, she said that she wanted John the Baptist's head on a platter. And so Herod, he had to grant her wish, and that's how John the Baptist was killed, and he was beheaded. And of course, in the end, now there's spoilers here, folks, but not really. This is an esoteric interpretation here. That's why the Gallo character in the end, John, who's also named Johnny, like John the Baptist, okay? But his throat is slit, and that's essentially Herod slitting his throat. And if you recall, there's an early shot in the film where Sally's mom is sitting in her wheelchair in the apartment, and it flashes to a picture that's on her wall. And the picture is the head of John the Baptist on the platter. Okay, so this is a film. This is a really good film. Actually, it's a modern take. Now, Oscar Wilde, having read a little bit about this, he did kind of a offshoot take of Salome, where actually Salome had some kind of interest in John the Baptist, knowing that he was going to be killed, and she tried to also seduce him and turn him against God. And that's kind of what goes on in the film as Sally follows Johnny up to the hotel room, and she tries to seduce him, but he will not budge. And it's the same scene that's played out in the television earlier in the salon. It's the same enactment in a modern version between Sally and Johnny. They show him in the bubble, and how he will not be broken, and ultimately he shows mercy on her, but he stays on the side of God. So I hope this makes a little clearer understanding. For those of you who are interested in the film, you might want to watch the film before you get the analysis here. But that's an analysis of Johnny 3:16. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. In the blood of